To get into insurance and from being in lending for so long, I really don't know much about insurance. I know what to look for. I know what needs to be done. But kind of give us a rundown of what we need to know about insurance as a consumer or someone that doesn't really know much about it at all.
You know, it's one of those subjects that a lot of people don't really like to talk about because they know that they're paying for something that they're not always using. But when it comes to them actually needing it, they realize the value. Insurance is one of those things that you do need on your home insurance, you do need on your vehicles, and we recommend always insuring with an umbrella liability policy, especially if you're a small family, have 2 kids, have a pool in the backyard. We want to make sure that you have liability enough to cover you in the case that there is a lawsuit. Say, for example, you have a pool party and you have the kids in the backyard and one of the kids slips and falls and gets injured.
Thank you for not saying drown.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And
We'll just say slips
you don't have enough coverage on your homeowner's insurance policy. Well, you have that umbrella liability policy to give you the comfort knowing that you will be accurately insured and that you don't have to pay anything out of your pocket and have to pay or lose any of the assets that you have. So one of the things as a broker is I like to really do the best thing for my client. I'm not just here to sell on price to my client. I'm here to make sure that the client is accurately insured and that we have everything covered.
Very good. There's something I wanted to get to in terms of in mortgages. We find like a big red flag if someone just comes to us and says, what's the best rates you have? Or they don't want to give you any information about themselves, but they want to know what's best available. Do you run into that scenario in terms of insurance? Someone just wants to know what their policy is going to cost them and not really care much about what goes into it.
Oh, all the time. Yes. I mean, clients call me all the time just based on price and just ready to shop out and get the cheapest possible policy that they can get. Well, like I always say, the sweet taste of a cheap price suddenly becomes sour when you have a claim.
Say that again. I didn't get all of that. What'd you say?
The sweet taste of a cheap price suddenly becomes sour when you have a claim.
That should be your new tagline on your email or something. Very good. So, I mean, I think that's what people need to be aware of. Is same with mortgages. It's not always just the best rate. You need to know what goes into it. You need to know what points, what rate, everything that kind of goes into it. So I'm glad you covered that. How is it different going through you as an insurance broker versus going through one of the big carriers? And I won't name them, but everybody knows who the big carriers are. From our perspective in mortgages, they think that we're the middleman. That it can't be cheaper to go through a broker. There's an extra person involved. And we have to go through that story too in terms of explaining it all to them. What do you say to those people?
Well, with the big carriers, they're limited to only what they can cover, and it's by going with a broker who has all the companies to work with, they're able to do the best thing for you as the client. So you may think that I'm going through a broker, I'm going to have to pay a broker fee. Well, I don't collect a broker fee, number one, for personal insurance, and I'm able to really do the research to find the best possible policy and package with a carrier that's just as reputable, that's like State Farm or Farmers or Allstate, that can only sell within that company.
Makes sense.
So.
Okay. And then in terms of when someone comes to you, do you have a system that kind of sifts through all that for you, or do you have to just know from experience what best fits that person?
I do have a system that I use, and it's called FSC Rater, and it rates it against all of the carriers that I work with to tell me which company is going to be the best price, best coverage, and going to fit the client.
Very good. I see a lot of online quotes, people going online and getting quotes. Do you recommend that for people to start? I mean, in mortgages and in real estate, everybody's on their phone. They want to know information on their phone. Is it the same in insurance? And if so, is that a good place to start?
I think it's okay to shop online just to get an idea, but I wouldn't recommend buying because you don't have a professional advising you if you're actually purchasing the right amount of coverage. So coming to a professional that can rate it through a replacement cost estimator to really determine how much it is that you need for the homeowner's insurance or your auto insurance policy. You're then able to work with somebody to give you that professional recommendation rather than just doing the best thing that you think you need.
Got it. So, I mean, knowing that they're going to start online, we're okay with them starting online, but just gather information, kind of get ideas, and then call that professional to kind of narrow it down for you. Speaking of that professional, that is you. So I want to give you an opportunity to give out your contact information. So go ahead and do so.
So my name is Heather Brandt. I'm the owner of BFI Insurance Services, and you can reach me at my cell phone number, business number, 619-346-3820. And my Facebook page, you can also check my Facebook page out at BFI Insurance Services.
Awesome. Good stuff. And when we get back